Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Can't wait to get into today's Mindset and Motivation Monday, which is all about the hidden cost of starting over. This is one of the most important topics that's almost never talked about, and I want to share with you how we can finally put an end to it, because every time you start and then you stop and then have to re-pick up, you are losing momentum. So even though temporarily it feels good to basically kind of quit something and just say, hey, I'm going to restart in a month from now. I'm going to restart in 6 weeks. And then you get back into it and there's that initial surge, right? Weight loss is the best example. So you've been on a plan, you maybe lost 6, 7, 8 pounds or so, and then you stop because the holidays came up, a birthday came up, a vacation came back up. You maybe gained 5 pounds or maybe all the way back, right? And you said, no big deal, because I'm going to start again in another 3 or 4 weeks. The issue is if your goal is bigger than those 7 or 8 pounds, if your goal is 25 pounds, you've just reset, right? You reset and said, no big deal, I'm going to do it again. And you, of course, can lose that 5 or 6 or 8 pounds. But the problem is, if your goal is 25 pounds, what did you do? Well, you really reset 8 weeks, right? Took you maybe 5 weeks or so to lose that pounds. Let's just say 4 weeks or so. Then you reset for another 6 weeks. Okay, you still have to first lose the initial weight. So we're at now 10 plus another 4, 14 weeks or so, right? So when we're looking at that, what are we really looking at? Another 3 or 4 months, right? Just to get back to where we were. Why this is so important is that so many of us have bigger goals in life. And so many of us, again, like I totally get it, have other parts of our life that tug on us. Family, kids, career, maybe it's parents, maybe it's siblings, maybe it's other individuals that need you. And I totally get that. But the problem is that your goals aren't going to happen by accident. They never do. Right? They happen, if you've been checking out the last few weeks at least, or last few years, they happen through consistent action. So the consistent actions need you to stay on pace. But the problem is this, is that when we get that, when we just kind of stop, right? So the thing is, we begin a plan, it's going pretty well, we start to hit obstacles or something comes up in life, and so we start to stall a little bit. We have a week or two where the results aren't as great. So then we start to get bored or we start to resent it. We say, why are we putting in this effort if we're not getting the results that we want? So then we quit, right? We just stop. We might still say, oh, I'm just going to restart in the future. But no matter what, at that point, we quit. We stopped, right? So then we restart, and we restart. What happens? Well, it feels good. It feels like a fresh start again. It's somewhat familiar as well because we've already been here before. We know that we're good at the beginning. So it removes maybe the guilt of having quit in the first place, and it gives us that temporary dopamine hit again. Oh, we're back. I'm making the quick progress. I lost a few pounds this week, right? And we're back in control. The problem is, inside of our brain and our wiring, and you know I'm so big on rewiring of the nervous system in the brain, what are we telling ourselves? We're telling our brain that when things get difficult or things come up in life, we stop, right? We quit. And again, I'm not being hard on you because I've been there myself. So I totally understand this. And I'm, again, like guilty as charged, but we don't have to become too difficult on ourselves, right? We don't have to scold ourselves. We just have to learn from this. So as I become more aware, I've realized, oh, there's a reason why I'm doing this. There's a reason why this is happening. I might not believe fully that I can achieve the goal, right? And that's why when things start to get a little bit difficult, they start to get a little bit scary, I just say, well, I'm already too busy. There's too much to work on. And so I start to maybe shy away from it. But it's teaching my brain that when things do become difficult, I'm reinforcing that with I stop. And we certainly don't want that, because whether it's this goal or another one that you set in life, you are going to have to push through some of the obstacles and challenges in order to get the compounding results that we're looking for. So here's what I want to share with you now, is that as we start to change our identity, we talked about that just a couple of weeks ago, we change our identity as to more of a high performer. We are someone that takes action, and even imperfect action. That's what I've really learned over the years. That's probably the biggest thing I've learned over the years, honestly, is that I was always trying to be a perfectionist. And a perfectionist is really a procrastinator. They honestly are. There's someone that they just wait until everything has to be perfect, or they try to do everything just right. It's this sense of control, which is really coming from fear of why you're acting that way. So then I realized, well, you know what? You're going to move further in life so much faster with imperfect action. So I take imperfect action. I know I'm already going to make some mistakes. So I've already wired my brain to say, it's okay, you're going to make some mistakes because you don't know it all right now. If you already knew it all, you would have already achieved your goal. So that's okay. Even if you have a plan, you have a blueprint, you have everything, great. You're working with a coach, you're still going to make some mistakes because it's your life, right? It's nobody else's life. Okay, so now that I know that, I can take consistent action and I can learn them from my mistakes. So as more of a high performer, as you're becoming, you are now realizing that there's going to be plateaus as well. So on your goal to 25 pounds weight loss or getting your certification or, improving your relationship, whatever it might be, there's a plateau or there's a step back. That just happens in life. So you lost 15 pounds, doing pretty well. Maybe you lost 5 pounds the first week, then 3 pounds, then 1.5 pounds. And now it's been like lost a pound to 1.5 pounds. And then 1 week was 0. And the next week was 0.5 pound. Then after that was no weight. Then you gained actually 0.5 pound back. Then you lost 1.5 pounds. So like it's imperfect, in terms of your overall weight loss. And then you might have even stalled out at, let's say, 21 pounds. You're like, I've been at 21 pounds weight loss for 3 weeks now, and I can't seem to break through that. High performers know that, yes, you are literally being tested. You have to be willing to stick with it and push past that plateaus in anything in life. And weight is just a simple example of that, whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight. But as you're doing this, you understand that progress happens through phases and not just bursts, right? So you get a burst in the beginning, maybe plateau a little bit, another burst, and then you plateau. And then sometimes it's just one foot in front of the other, plodding through what feels like weeks or months, right? And sometimes it is, until you begin to understand that it is just about execution, that you're going to have to do the not exciting work if you want to get to a goal that's important to you. But what's this doing? It's actually then teaching your nervous system something different, that you're willing to do hard things, that you're willing to work at it even when it's not going exactly your way, that you're willing to learn from your mistakes, and maybe some call it failures. But again, how is it possibly a failure? It's simply a mistake on the way through your growth in order to achieve whatever you've set for your heart, for your passion, for your goals, for your desires, whatever it might be. Again, like we all want to be and do these things and have these things in life. And it's very personal to each one of us. And part of it, I think, might be wired in us from birth, honestly. Like I think there is a nature aspect to it. And then, of course, there's a nurture. And part of it is also what we want for our family. It's not just us. Like there are things that I do in life that I very much want for my wife and my daughters that I do, not necessarily because I feel it deep inside me, because I feel like that's what I should do. And that's okay as well. But what you're willing to do is say, okay, I am going to create the habits now that it takes in order to get to my goals. Because honestly, it's all about consistency. So next time you want to just quit and say, hey, I'm going to do it in 6 weeks from now, I'm just going to restart back up then, understand that there's a great cost to that. You lose momentum. And no matter what, you're going to end up at the spot you're at right now. You're going to end up at the plateau you've always encountered. So at some point, you're going to need to learn how to break through that plateau. And that's really all there is to it. So instead of stopping, what I would say is this, because I get it, like holidays come up, events come up, busy work seasons come up, that maybe you just had a child and like you're busy right now, obviously in that season of your life. I get it. So what I always recommend is there a way to maintain even for a little while? Maintain the habits, maintain the plateau, maintain the 8 pounds of weight loss on the way to the 25, right? Maintain the actions, maintain the discipline, maintain the habits, or notch them down just a little bit, but don't give them up. Don't give up that 30 minutes in your schedule if you can as to where that's built in. Or if you have to, think about it in a different way, meaning like, oh, you can't go to the gym now because maybe you did just have a baby. You can't go to the gym now at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning. What do? Okay. Is there a point, it's imperfect, I know it's imperfect, but is there a point when maybe the baby's napping that you could get in a 20-minute at-home workout down the basement, outside, whatever it might be? Again, imperfect, not the best, but can we maintain where we are right now? Or do we have to have new information? Because there's a way to do it. There's always a way to do it, right? So is there a way that we can reach out, find someone, get a coach, something in order to just be able to plateau where we're at? And I will say this, I understand that at some points in our life that we do have to let things go, that it might be not the right time right now. What I'm saying is this, if you have found yourself, and again, we're all guilty of this, if you've set a goal and you found yourself at least 2 or 3 times starting and stopping, I wonder if it's always a life event that's coming up or it's a you, right? If it's a you thing. Is there a wiring? Is there a self-sabotage that's happening? And again, no condemnation on my part. It's literally you looking at you saying, maybe there is something there. Maybe there is a fear there. Let me work on that, because as we work on these things, we improve our overall identity. First of all, it allows us to mature in a much greater way, to become enlightened even just a little bit more in a far more fine-tuned way where we're willing to have these deeper conversations with ourselves. We're willing to sit with it for a moment and say, wow, yeah, I've actually have tried to get well for 8 different times now, like 8 different start and stops. I have tried to lose the weight 10 different times. I have tried 12 different diets. I've done all these different things. Okay, is it the diet plan or, again, being gentle on ourselves, or is it me or you, right? So we have to look at it is because most likely you gotten some level of results. And then it plateaued, you got frustrated and stopped wherever you're at in life. And I agree, but that's only because the plan was able to take you to that level. That's all that plan was, but that's okay. That's enough at that level. Then we need to look at the next level. So for example, this Wednesday, I'm going to share with people exactly how sleep causes weight gain. They had 2 groups of people. They did exactly the same thing. One got 60% better results by changing their sleep in terms of weight loss. It's all they changed, right? So when people tell you it's all about calories in, calories out, I totally get it. We usually start there, but there are levels to this game. And so all I'm saying is that when you plateau, it's not you, it's the level of information that you've been given. So when you have new inputs, as long as you can just maintain the plateau, it's okay. It's think about this. The ladder has, let's say, 20 rungs on it. And if you've gotten up 5 of the rungs, don't hop back off the ladder. Stay at level 5. Just stay there till you get the new information. Then go up to level 10. You're going to need more information at level 10. As long as you know that, that's the biggest game changer in my life. I realized that I need more information of each stage of ascension on the ladder. And now that I know that, I say, oh, okay, this is where I can get to. Got it. Totally understand. Who now do I need to talk to? What book do I need to read? What course do I need to take? What level of knowledge am I missing in order to get to that next level? So my biggest thing for you is this, is that you don't need a new beginning. You don't need to abandon what you've already put in. What I want you to do is simply search for new, clear information that will help you get to your goals in a much faster fashion without starting over. Because there is absolutely a hidden cost to starting over. It's going to cost you time, money, energy, frustration, and you're just going to hit that same plateau over in the future. Might as well deal with it now. Hopefully today's show was helpful. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning into the show. And of course, if it was helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everybody.